Okay, we've now wrapped up the overall perspective of solving the world with regards to the GPO. Your perspectives have been, absolutely amazing to, let's say, provide our viewers and listeners, with fresh thinking. And, I think part and parcel of the discussion, during camera, off camera, has been, I wish I said this, or I wish I said that. Okay.
So true.
Yeah. But, when you're time pressured to actually just answer in 7 minutes, the reality statement that comes here is, it's like anything, right? It's your first thought, and that's what we love. So the final question that we've actually got is, who benefits from not measuring? And now I got you both in the room associated with this. So for us, this is the sharpest angle that we're trying to, give people a view. The GPO says, we negotiated the price. What happens after that is not necessarily our responsibility. The distributor says, we invoiced under our own nomenclature. That is standard practice. The hospital says, we don't have the resources to verify every transaction. Nobody owns the last mile. Distributed non-accountability is precisely what allows the model to persist in its current form. Okay. The question is, if a technology emerged tomorrow that made every transaction verifiable, who in this chain would be the first to lose revenue? And who, therefore, has the least interest in seeing it exist? So, Bill, I know that you're a thinker, so I'm not going to give you any room for thinking. You're the first one to answer.
All right. So I'll tell you who doesn't win. It's the patient and our national problem. And so, we have I don't want to call it an emergency because it's always felt like, we've been under this emergency, but it's embarrassing the degree of cost that still exists within our system. And the best way to get to it, to address it collectively on all sides, is having real transparency of the pricing and of the costing issues. So I'll just start with that because I feel like all organizations do believe in that. But I'll also say that, you're probably working backwards from a supplier perspective and into a distributor perspective and into a GPO perspective to maintain the current model without the accountability that exists.
Okay, and I'm going to circle back, but I'm going to give Jeremy the opportunity to respond.
So I agree. The patient does not win in this current scenario, and it's obvious healthcare costs keep going up. I would say healthcare costs keeps going up, and the overall innovation of our technology doesn't really match the expense that we put into it. Because we don't have the transparency, we're not looking at how does this outcome actually affect outcomes, or what makes a difference. I think I would describe it as, I agree with Bill, the current model, manufacturers, all the people that are playing the game, right? That's the game. It's the cultural norm now. That's how they're used to operating. I'm not sure they're truly winning from the future perspective, especially from the patient perspective, because manufacturers are not truly investing in things that really foundationally make a difference, because they're not looking at the transparency. We're not looking at the full last mile. We're looking at little glimpses. So we're not finding the best solution for the patient, but I'm not sure they're also finding the best value for their companies when you think of like a more innovative world and technology-driven world. I think they're stuck in an old model,
Right.
and trying to figure out, how do I break out of an old model that this is how I make my money, to where
It's a bit of like the old boys network, though, isn't it? Because if you look at statistically, a number of key suppliers that represent 95% of the spend in healthcare. So I don't want to name them, but obviously we all know the big ones. Then the ability for someone small, niche, to try and disrupt a company that might be generating, dare I say it, 200+ billion in revenue.
Well, I think they're also, because of that, they're fairly inefficient with how they operate, because they're not looking at the transparency. They don't have to be efficient, right? And I think that's that transparency. They're afraid of health systems going, wow, you're so inefficient. Well, so are health systems. So we're we're also, without a lack of transparency, we're maybe not staying on contract as near as much as we should be. Those types of things. There's wins on both sides, but there's a lack of willingness because of the fear of what is that new world of transparency look and how does it disrupt the current model. But I agree, there could be niche players that could.
And I think everyone's trying to act in their own like their own interests.
True.
You know,
True.
you're having to report to shareholders. You're having to, you know, maintain your current job. You know, I mean, everybody's playing a bit within their own interests, but I think it's very fair to call out that the bundling effort, and whether that's contracted compliance to one organization generally, or putting people in a situation to where they feel like they've got to, you know, buy in as much as possible from, you know, whether that's GPOs or distributors, it leaves less flexibility to help those that may be up and coming. And so you'd love the opportunity for there to be a bit of a more even playing ground.
Because I also liken it. Sorry.
I was going to say I agree with it. That's why, from a distribution standpoint, I will not negotiate my distribution price, have anything tied to products. Like
Would love to see more of that.
I
So
keep
that's
that
great.
line because
Yeah.
you're right. I can chase the real value, and I'm not stuck with this old structure that I'm beholden to.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, one-word answers, and I'm going to
Yes.
start with only 3, so we're 20 seconds to go. And I'm going to start with 1 and then 2, okay? And then we'll just rotate. One-word answers. If you had to name the single biggest structural fix this model needs, not a technology, not a vendor, but a structural change, what would it be? One word.
Transparency.
Economics.
Okay. You've both spent significant parts of your career inside the system. Looking at it now, is this a model that needs to be reformed or replaced?
Oh boy.
I love your, oh boy, is that gasp? Oh, no.
You said one word?
Yeah, well, it's either reformed or replaced.
It's like realistic informed.
I'll say replace then, just so that way
I like that.
we're bookending
Yes,
it.
I like that.
Okay. What is the one question about this model that nobody in the industry is asking, but should be?
No one is asking?
I think, you know, you mentioned it right at the very beginning, right? I think Bill did. It's known, but no one's really publicly talking about it.
Yeah. How do you answer that with one word?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
So I asked the question again,
how do
what
I ask
is
it?
the one question about this model that nobody in the industry is asking, but should be?
Why do we do things this way?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think people ask that question enough. Why are we doing things the way that we do them, as opposed to just following the formula that has existed?
Did you fail maths?
Did I
How many?
Well, how do you answer? How do you answer a question in one word?
Well, I'm going to give Bill an opportunity.
Do one word.
I-
One word question.
You know, I'll cheat and I'll just say innovation. And
He's smarter than me.
well, no, you're not gonna what do they call insanity? Like doing the same thing and expecting a different outcome.
100%.
And so if you're not really embracing what does real change look like, you're not going to get it. And so, there needs to be a lot of boldness to innovate.
Okay. You have one opportunity because we'll do a take on this. So then say, Jeremy, what is the one question about this model that nobody in the industry is asking but should be?
I can't do it in one word.
Done. Great. Guys, thank you both very much. It's been a pleasure having you both on board. For Luis, who's not here today, we miss you. And Bill, thank you for being the first guest on side the Health Intelligence Pitch. It's been obviously a pleasure, an honor to actually have you both here. The reality about this is that we want to try and drive change. We want to actually try and make sure that people are thinking about this differently, and your fresh perspective, top of mind, hopefully gives rise for some people to speak up a little bit louder as well. So thank you both.
Thank you.
Thank you. A lot of fun.